So with Mr. R, I wanted to warm up again a little bit with some of our loose leash walking and then maybe do a little bit more with some play. Yes, nice job. So again, you can sometimes switch between the two. So like right now I have him hooked up on the back of the harness. I did try the other two harnesses that you brought. The trouble is that the blue one was much too big for him, so it didn't fit him. And the other one was technically what's called a step-in harness. And I feel like the step-in harnesses also kind of go in front of the dog's shoulder and do kind of restrict their movement. Plus, it doesn't give you the option for the front or back clip. So like, let's say, for example, we were going to switch him to the front clip. Sometimes the front clip, again, as I mentioned, can be very helpful. Remember that equipment shouldn't be the thing creating behavior. So what I mean by that, yes, is that if you're looking to equipment to stop your dog from pulling, it most likely never will. Because remember the training wheel scenario where training wheels don't teach you how to ride your bicycle, but they keep you from failing while you're figuring it out. So someone still would have to teach you how to turn and pedal and then also stop for safety. So with Mr. Handsome over here, his lead being attached to the front can be helpful because let's say he gets ahead of you and he were to start pulling, it can help pivot him back towards you. So he's doing a lovely job working his loose leash walking. If again, it wasn't going this fluid and this sort of soft, and again, if he prefers one side to the other, again, I don't mind whichever side is comfortable for you guys or for him, is that make sure that your rate of reinforcement is high enough for your puppy to find these behaviors beneficial. If there's not much for a paycheck, your babe may not find this very appealing. And remember, walking really slow and paying attention to you is not as much fun as it is to maybe go frolic, go smell, go pee on things, and of course, chase other critters that might be out and about. Nice job, Mr. R. So while he's working some of this lovely loose leash walking, I do want to also work a little bit with some of our take it and drop it behaviors. So I know we were doing, again, the flirt pull, and he would chase it and go grab it and then go and release the item. I'm going to try a little bit with a few different toys or a bumper toy as well and see if I can get Mr. Handsome to practice grabbing the item and then letting go as we say drop it, give, or out, whichever slogan you prefer. So right now we're just kind of warming up, so I might go into a little front again. So I know we were doing the fronts really nicely with Miss F, where again you pull your puppy into you and you feed for that. This is going to be different than I know that leash pressure exercise that we're doing. Leash pressure, for example, you have the lead short enough so when you go to pull on the leash, he feels the tension and that means to come into you. Fronts, for example, you wouldn't be using leash bumps because then otherwise you're going to always be needing that connection to your pup. So remember, the leash pressure game is just getting your puppy comfortable that when they feel pressure on the equipment is to come back to you and do that lovely little check-in. So you can see that sometimes I am also feeding across my body, which what I mean by that is if your puppy is not getting the food directly to them on the same side and you're feeding now instead across your body, you want to make sure that when you're feeding, it's not for when the puppy cuts you off, but more so when the puppy is again by your side and you feed while they're near your leg. Nice job, Mr. R. So I'm going to go ahead and just drop the lead for now. I want to see if I can go ahead and ask him to take it. So in the beginning, you don't have to rev the engine too high. He says, boy, that smells disgustingly delicious. I know this is one of my boys' toys. So I want him, he's like, it smells great. So I want him to, for example, he's like, lady, just hold it still so I can grab it. Nice. So I want him to grab hold of the toy. And then when he's playing with it, the toy is alive and we can grab and hold it, right? Take. Nice. So again, he does wiggle a little bit and kind of stand up. He does the same thing my boy does where he sometimes wants to grab the handles instead. So as he grabs hold of the toy, I want to then bring food right to his little sniffer. Ready? Drop. He says, no, I really like this one. If he's super toy driven, the other option, so let's say, for example, he grabs the toy, you relinquish, you can go right into a little find it or get a second toy. So if he's more toy driven, we want to practice, yes, going between one toy to another. Ready? Take it. Nice. So now this toy is alive. I know we were sort of discussing a little bit with the toy exchange game to prevent sort of resource guarding and gulping. So this is also a great way to play with your puppy or adult dog. I know he's more of a teenager. So having several toys out can be a great way, ready, take it, to get him to practice grabbing it. He's like, hold on, lady, it smells amazing. Good job. He's like, hold on, it's stinky. Yeah, I got to check it out first. So let's say he grabs hold of the toy. He's like, lady, I'm ready. And the toy comes alive. He could go run to grab it. And then while he's playing with that one, we could get him to relinquish that one to get this guy. Yeah, nice job. So that way he's practicing working, again, these on-off switches, but not having it be you come over and you're trying to take it away. So as he's playing with one toy, I might go, ready, Ruger, take it. Nice, oh, nice crash. He's like a giant bull in a china shop. He doesn't always know where he's going. So if you're finding that he doesn't always know, ready, go get it. Nice. We can get him to sometimes have one and then drop the other. Ready, go get that toy. Good boy. Ready? Nice job. So he might even bring it to me or near me. Yes, Ruger. Here you go, find it. So sometimes what I like to do is practice getting him to disengage between the different toys, and at times also feed him for letting go and starting over. So let's say mid-play, I might go, Ruger, see if I can get his attention. He's like, no, I really love this bumper toy. But throughout your play, I would recommend to sometimes rotate. So that way you're not always just swiping the toy and getting him to think that letting go, yeah, means the end of the game. So again, the toy is alive, we're playing. We might go and play some tug with it. Good job. And then I might go, ready, Ruger, drop. Yes, and feed for that. Good job. So you can say drop it, give, out, whatever slogan you prefer. And then the toy comes alive again for a few moments. And then we can go, ready, Ruger, drop. Yes, and feed for that. Good boy. Ready? Take it. He's like, I'm going. Nice. So again, it's alive. We're playing. He's like, lady, I almost caught it. Good job. And then again, drop. Yes. So you see that I'm not revving the engine so high that there's no bounce back. So what I mean by that is if you're going and playing and he goes baloney and goes a little wild, then we might be working him a little bit past his comfort range or way over his threshold. So remember, ready? Find it, is we don't want him to, for example, just break the toys. So toys like this should be out and about when you're supervising, ready? And you're playing together. So I want him to be able to grab the toy, play with it, and have it equal that we can engage together versus just I'm chewing on it and I'm breaking it. So a lot of times by accident, we tend to use, oh, you making a little shish kebab with your blueberries, Ebba? Nice job. She's got blueberries. She's got a little poker that is a little toothpick, and she puts her blueberries on it like a little shish kebab. So for Mr. Handsome, you'll see that every once in a while throughout some of this play, we go back into working maybe some find its. We might do a little bit with name recognition. Ruger. Yes, what a good boy. Nice. So that way he can sometimes practice going in and out of the excitement of the toys, back onto some softness of some find its, and then also working a little bit with the checking in with you. So if let's say he is really fond of one of the toys, you may find that maybe having two of the same toy to be beneficial. So you can then get him to exchange one particular item for another one. Ready, Ruger? Ready? Oh, go get that toy. Nice. So again, we would want to make sure that we create an on and off switch. Yes, what a good boy. So you might say, take it, fetch if you're throwing and he's catching it. And he says, I'm going to rip it up. So remember ripping. I know for us, it's very sad because they tend to break items. Remember that the gutting instinct to pull things apart and see how they pull apart and what's inside is very normal for your dog. It's also a great way for them to have fun. You do want to make sure that, of course, when they're pulling things apart, they're not ingesting it. So for safety reasons, you'd really want to make sure, ready, Ruger? Find it. You'd really want to make sure that they're not ingesting the items as they're practicing. I'm just going to plop that one off to the side. So if your puppy, for example, is going through toys like it's going out of style, then by accident, we might be giving them too many opportunities to break everything they have. You might go and let's say they do like to rip and tear things. Ready, go get it. Is you might then instead work it where, for example, you get some very cheapo toys, maybe discounted from, maybe, what's it called? Like a Salvation Army or somewhere like there. And get them discounted, and maybe those are the ones we let him break and then we play with that. But if it's an ingestion issue where he's going to be trying to gobble it up, I don't recommend it. Though I would, for example, give him outlets. Like some dogs love to, for example, rip up cardboard boxes. So I sometimes will, for enrichment, add some kibble, add some training treats, or even put a fun toy inside a box and then have my dog, for enrichment, try to rip it open to get to the item. But I would recommend, nice job, sir. So I'm also feeding for all these little moments where he does a really nice job checking in. Ready? Do you want to do find it? Good job. So you'll see that play plus a little bit of thinking is really beneficial for both him and for the relationship, because it means that when he gets a little bit flustered or excited, those big emotions can then come back from there. So you're not seeing, again, where he completely will not do something, but what you're looking for is to either replace the behavior you're not loving with something you'd prefer, or to make sure that he has appropriate outlets that give him the opportunity to work those doggy-centric play or behaviors, and then make sure that he's getting some of that enrichment. Nice job, Ruger. Come. Yes. Good boy. So again, maybe throughout this practice, again, having the toys out and about is crucial, because if you're constantly swiping the items, as I mentioned before, even with things he's allowed to have, he's going to start to think that whenever we come nearby, we might be the end of fun. So remember, if your puppy learns how to let go of things they're allowed to have, ready? Then that means your puppy starts to learn how to let go of things he's not supposed to have. So if your puppy tends to grab for acorns and sticks and all those items, yes. Oh my goodness, he says, what is she doing over there? Sneezing. So, but if let's say your pup tends to grab for items on the floor that are not appropriate or could be harmful, is how we react to them will make that situation easier or harder for the dog. So I typically recommend do a little find it, get him to disengage from the thing he shouldn't have, and then that way you're, again, doing a little exchange versus just taking things from his face. Nice job, Ruger. So ready? We'll get another little sit. So I want to do in the next little video a bit with leave it, and then see how he does with some of those skills. And we'll dive into leave it behaviors versus, again, these previous take it and drop it. Nice job, Baba. She made a little shish kebab. So good job, sir. So again, high rate of reinforcement helps him think there's value in some of these things that we're working on. Where do you find it? Good job.